Cowboys are in Cali after a long day of traveling on Tuesday, but they're ready to work and kick things off right for the 2024 training camp. Welcome into Inside Cowboys Training Camp. Nicole Hutchison alongside Mickey Spagnola. Now, Mickey, a lot of new storylines right coming into this year's training camp, but of course, CeeDee Lamb's holdout being the number one in question. But when you talk about offensive lineman Tyler Smith, he addressed that on Tuesday, and he made it clear that all the veterans, even despite CeeDee Lamb's absence, they're going to make sure that they don't kick things off right on the right foot.
No, absolutely. And Tyler Smith in his third year is really acting like a veteran, and that's a good thing because this offensive line needs to come together if this Cowboys offense is going to get back to where they were last year as one of the top offenses in the National Football League.
And the expectations are very high. Let's go ahead and take a listen to what he had to say.
How do you guys try and take care of business if he's not here?
I mean, we definitely got to be leaders, and we just got to make sure that, regardless of, who's practicing or who's here, that, the standard doesn't change, that we're still doing what we need to do so that when we all come together, there's no drop-off. We're working on, 100%, that well-oiled machine. So.
Mickey, I've got to ask you, is another big year awaiting Tyler Smith?
Yeah, absolutely, and it needs to be because if you're looking at him playing left guard, he potentially could be between a rookie on the left side with Tyler Guyton and a rookie on the right side at center with Cooper Beebe. So he really needs to take charge of that side of the offensive line, and as he said when he was asked about what does he need to do this year to go over what he did last year as a Pro Bowler, he said, I got to keep getting better.
And you mentioned it, Tyler Guyton being a rookie on this offensive line. That battle is going to be very interesting between him and Chuma Edoga. What does Tyler Guyton have to do to win that starting role?
Well, I just think he needs to make the transition from having played right tackle in college to now playing left tackle. He just needs to show that he knows what he's doing. He's got the talent. Obviously, the Cowboys wouldn't have drafted him in the first round if they didn't see that talent. Now he needs to understand everything that goes along with playing left tackle, and they really need him to be able to perform well. For me, Chuma Edoga is a good backup swing tackle. I just don't know that you want him out there for 60 snaps a game if you can help it, and so Tyler Guyton needs to really step forward.
A lot of big things awaiting Tyler Guyton, maybe Chuma Edoga, and a lot of other players heading into 2024 training camp. But how about Jourdan Lewis? He's looking to level up this defense under new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer. That's up next.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
This offseason, the Dallas Cowboys lost 3 faces to the Washington Commanders following former defensive coordinator Dan Quinn's departure. But when you talk about one guy that stayed, he chose to make Dallas Cowboys his home again. That's Jourdan Lewis, and he's looking to level up in year 8.
Tyler was talking about expectations. Fans were obviously upset about what happened last year as well as you guys. What are your expectations this year? Do you feel the pressure of you got to make a deep playoff run and those kinds of things?
It's the Cowboys, bro. It's always going to be that, but at the same time, we have a job to do, and that's to win. So we always expect to win, and that's what we want to go out there and prove that we can do, is go out there and win.
Having done this a few times, the losses against San Francisco in the playoffs and now Green Bay, does that linger into training camp? Do you still have that sour taste, or is it?
Being around long enough, this is another season. This is a different season. It's a different team, and you just got to go out there and focus on this season. So it doesn't really linger. We just know that we don't want to, end it on one playoff game, and we just got to go out there and see what the 2024, Dallas Cowboys do.
How important will this time be specifically to not only get used to Mike Zimmer's system, but to him as well?
You said what?
How important will this time be to be not only getting acquainted with Mike Zimmer's system, but him as a coach as well?
Very important. That's what training camp is about, understanding the scheme and understanding, how you want to attack offenses and going out there and, putting the best product out there as a whole. So this is definitely a critical time for us on defense, and, we'll see definitely where we going in Cleveland. So.
How has your approach changed going into this year versus year 1, year 2, Jourdan Lewis?
Honestly, nothing. Really, just being healthy. Honestly, just being able to be trained how I want to, and knowing that I'll be ready for day 1 training camp. Just getting my head wrapped around that, because that hadn't happened for a while. So I'm just understanding that it's going to be full go as soon as I get out there. Just getting ready for that and making sure my body is right and my mind is right to go out there and perform.
How do you balance that versus, like you mentioned, it's the Cowboys, so you have pressure. How do you balance not pressing when you get out there and overdoing it?
I learned last year when I, coming off of, an injury, just understanding that, in contract year that pressing doesn't do anything but, make things worse. Just go out there and just, prepare and just go out there and do what I was prepared to do. And it was just go out there and play ball. So later on in the season, I felt like I played better, and I felt better about, how I felt with my body and understanding and listening to my body and just going out there and just taking it one snap at a time. So I feel like that's, how I approach this year, and hopefully we can, get some amazing things done.
Being healthy this offseason, how different was it for you? I mean, what were you able to do now that you were able to kind of go in healthier than previous years?
I got to train my movements, do DB stuff, not just focus on, just trying to make sure the foot is stronger. Just go out there and you can go do your stuff and trying to perform and get better at different things that different aspects of the game that you wanted to, not just thinking about rehabbing, just making sure you can go out there and perform at the highest ability like they want to.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Inside Cowboys training camp. Nicole Hutchison alongside Mickey Spagnola. And we're in Oxnard, California. Good weather, good vibes. We got the players in good spirits heading into this year's training camp. But when you talk about, again, the storylines, Trevon Diggs, he's expected to start on the active PUP list. What are your thoughts on that, Mickey?
Yeah, I was told before we left for training camp that there was a good chance they were going to put him on PUP. And the reason is they wanted him to continue to rehab coming back from his torn ACL last year. So this first week of training camp is basically OTA practices. So they wanted to keep him rehabbing with Britt Brown and continue to try to get that knee stronger. Yeah. They need him, Nicole, to come back like the Trevon Diggs that was a Pro Bowler before he tore his ACL. And with the limited depth they have at the cornerback position, they really need him back and ready to go to start the season.
And he's been working. I've been seeing him actually work with one of the best DB coaches in the country, around the country. I actually know him, one of my friends, Nicole. But switching gears, you got a lot of rookies on this roster, right, that are expected to make some big roles or take some big roles. When you talk about a standout rookie that you need to stand out in training camp, who is that guy? One
of the guys that I'm going to keep my eye on is their second-round draft choice, Marshawn Nealon, defensive end. With the departure of Dorrance Armstrong, one of the guys you talked about that left with Dan Quinn to go to Washington, there's not a lot of depth at the defensive end spot. And if they have designs on using Micah Parsons maybe a little bit more at linebacker, then they need another defensive end to step up along with DeMarcus Lawrence. And to me, I'm keeping my eye on Nealon, who looks like a guy that as a rookie can get some playing time.
A lot of excitement around these rookies, a lot of excitement around these veterans looking to make their presence known as well. But that's a wrap for this episode of Inside Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard. We'll be back tomorrow with press conference reactions.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.